Breaking now, new details on a class action lawsuit filed against Crown Hill Cemetery.
It accuses them of improperly soliciting patients into contracts for funeral services. Good evening, I'm Debbie Knox.
And I'm Bob Donaldson. Thanks for joining us. The woman behind this lawsuit is the legal guardian for her mother.
Now, our Charlie DeMar spoke with the victim in this case and joins us now live with more from Crown Hill Cemetery. Charlie.
Good evening again. Leaders here at Crown Hill Cemetery had no idea about the lawsuit until they got a flood of media calls this afternoon. And the woman behind the lawsuit says a salesman from the cemetery here took advantage of her family and really left them with no other option other than to seek legal counsel. We want to show you a picture of the woman who is at the center of this lawsuit. Deatra Covington is the legal guardian for her schizophrenic mother. She has been since 2010. The lawsuit claims that back in April of 2012, Covington's mother signed a pre-need funeral package totaling more than $11,000. Now, Covington's attorney accuses the cemetery of violating the Pre-Needs Act by soliciting a mentally ill client. Now, Covington had no knowledge of the contract and was completely caught off guard because none of her family is buried here at Crown Hill.
I just want the public to know that our rights were violated. What I want is, as a representative, a legal guardianship for my mom. There's probably others.
Now, as of now, Covington's mother is the only person listed in the lawsuit, but the attorney who took on this case is hoping that others will come forward with similar claims. The attorney says that he has reason to believe that there are others involved who have gone through the same thing, that have been approached by salespeople here at Crown Hill. But again, the mother of Covington is the only person listed in this lawsuit as of now. We will have much more tonight at 11 and 10 o'clock, but for now, we're reporting live. I'm Charlie DeMar.
And breaking news now, sources tell CBS4 the IMPD officer involved in a fatal crash last week tested under the legal limit for alcohol. IMPD has not released the actual results of a blood alcohol test, but sources confirm Officer Bernardo Zavalza was under the legal limit. A supervisor says the officer smelled like alcohol at this deadly accident on Thursday night. This is near Southport Road and I-65. A 911 caller reported a person walking in the middle of the road minutes before 53-year-old Ronnie Bowling was struck by the marked IMPD vehicle.
They have a duty to the public and to themselves and to the department to be sure the letter of the law is followed. And I think you see more often than not now an officer gets arrested as opposed to getting a free pass.
IMPD policy states an employee faces termination if he or she operates a city-owned vehicle with a blood alcohol content greater than 0.02. The prosecutor's office is reviewing the case to determine if criminal charges will be filed. A spokesperson says a decision has not yet been made. When news breaks, trust CBS4 to get you the information first. Download our CBS4 Indy app to get breaking news alerts sent right to your smartphone.
Well, new at 6 o'clock, a sentence of probation for Ulitic Deputy Town Marshal Bill Allen. He pleaded guilty to dissemination of material harmful to minors and today received a sentence of 2.5 years probation, no jail time. Last November, Allen was arrested on 3 charges of felony child molesting.
New at 6 tonight, a Monroe County woman says she was acting in self-defense when she shot her husband over the weekend.
But investigators say the evidence they have found just doesn't add up. CBS4's Zach Myers looks at the evidence in this case.
This is the first homicide case to be investigated by the Monroe County Sheriff's Department so far this year, and detectives on this case still have plenty of questions about what actually prompted the deadly violence. Meantime, there's real concern now for 2 young children as their father is dead and their mother is behind bars. When Nancy Rollins heard from a neighbor about gunshots across the street Saturday afternoon, she walked over to find 26-year-old Justin Kirby lying on his front step with no pulse, and his 23-year-old wife, Taylor Kirby, sitting next to him on the phone with 911.
She just kept asking me if he was all right, if he was going to be all right. She said, I shot him, I had to shoot him, he was coming after me, I had to shoot him.
Nancy says the Kirby's 3- and 2-year-old children were playing a few feet away, seemingly unaware of what had happened.
The little boy was playing with some cars and the little girl was just toddling around.
Monroe County investigators believe Taylor Kirby shot her husband 4 times with a handgun she bought some time ago. They believe Justin was running from Taylor as she fired, and he made it just outside the front door before he collapsed.
The exact circumstances that led up to the shooting is still currently under investigation.
Neighbors say the Kirbys had a volatile relationship. Police were called out to the house just a couple weeks ago to break up a heated shouting match. Investigators say Taylor Kirby told them the shooting was in self-defense as her husband was attacking her. But
the physical evidence at the scene and the trajectories that the autopsy revealed is contradicting to the information that she disclosed in her interview with detectives.
A family member is looking after the young children, and detectives hope to interview them soon to see what, if anything, they may have witnessed. And Taylor Kirby is being held without bond on a preliminary charge of murder in the Monroe County Jail. Her initial court hearing is set for tomorrow afternoon. In Bloomington, Zach Meyer, CBS4 News.
Well, the weather is about to start changing here in central Indiana. Some cooler temperatures and some rain in this forecast.
Right. Our chief meteorologist, Chris Wright, has the details in the forecast.
Yeah, nice and mild for us today with sunshine. We saw the high up to 84. We'll see a few more clouds coming in for tonight and tomorrow. From those clouds, we'll see some rainfall across central Indiana. On Live Guardian radar, starting to see more moisture building up from the south, more cloud cover moving in, but I think we'll stay dry for this evening. The showers we're watching are back off to our northwest. That's the rainfall that eventually is going to work its way southward and give us a chance for a few widely scattered showers. Right now, a mix of clouds and sunshine. We're at 77 in Muncie, 82 in Columbus, and 81 right now in Terre Haute and in Bloomington. Watch what's going to happen over the next couple of hours with CBS4 Future View. More clouds developing across central Indiana for tonight. Slight chance for an isolated shower or two coming up after midnight. It's on through tomorrow morning. By 7 o'clock, we'll start to see some rainfall forming for us, and showers will continue throughout the afternoon hours. We'll talk more about this rainfall and what it's going to mean for temperatures for the rest of the week coming up in your Weather Authority forecast.
All right, Chris, thank you. We have new information tonight about what caused a teenage shoplifting suspect to die in police custody. CBS 4's Jesse Wells talked to the family today. He has the very latest on this case.
The Marion County Coroner's Office ruled the teenager died from acute myocardial infarction. That's a heart attack in layman's terms. Still, the suspect's parents criticized police and paramedics for their handling of the arrest. Inside this Burlington coat factory on East Washington, a security guard confronted a shoplifter over the weekend. The suspect took off running out of the store, but police quickly caught up with the accused thief across the street, lying here in the grass behind an adjacent gas station. Police claim they found a gun next to the suspect, but he did surrender without a fight. While in police custody, 18-year-old Terrell Day told police he was having trouble breathing. Officers then called an ambulance, but paramedics checked the suspect out and determined he was okay and could be taken to jail. The first paramedics then left the scene, but before police could transport Day to jail, police say the teen once again claimed he couldn't breathe, so police called a second ambulance. That's when the suspect apparently went into cardiac arrest and could not be revived. The county coroner claims the death occurred as the result of a heart attack and ruled the death natural. The suspect's mother is still stunned by the loss and says her son had no medical history. She believes medical crews should have transported her son the first time he complained he couldn't breathe. Officials with Indianapolis EMS wrote in a statement they extend their condolences, adding, "We have already launched a full internal investigation, and at this time, we are confident the highest levels of response and care was provided." The IMPD refused to talk about the case on camera today. They told me they're waiting for an investigation to be complete before offering any public comment. Jesse Wells, CBS 4 News.
Well, nearly $2 million have been handed out to community groups to tackle violence. That money comes from the county option income tax. It's just one way to try and improve public safety, while the two men who would be Indianapolis's next mayor tell us how they would make the city streets safer. On Fox 59, In Focus, Democrat Joe Hogsett said that he wants to know what happened to money raised through a pair of recent public safety tax hikes. Republican Chuck Brewer told us if he's elected, he will send police officers out to meet some of the city's worst offenders face to face.
How do you raise our taxes twice essentially telling us because we're going to put more police officers on the street, and there are fewer officers on the street today than there were 7 or 8 years ago.
Continued violence in their record is not going to be tolerated, and we're going to show them that there's opportunities to change their behavior. If not, we're going to get them back in jail.
Now, Hogsett said that he favors a new criminal justice center and jail, while Brewer wants to establish a task force to take on Indianapolis's exploding heroin outbreak. You can hear more from both candidates on the next episode of In Focus with Dan Spieler. It airs Sundays at 9:30 a.m. on our sister station, Fox 59.
And now the Colts, after a score, can score again here and take the lead. Here is Moncrief, high in the air, touchdown Indianapolis!
In the Colts blue zone, a huge win that everyone's still talking about tonight. The Colts got their first win of the season, as you know, against the Titans yesterday. Titans scored 27 unanswered points at one point. Now the Colts turned it around in the fourth quarter with 21 points. Final score 35-33. Coach Chuck Pagano, did you see this? He called it one of the biggest wins in his life.
It was one of the, greatest wins I've ever been a part of. And that's why we do what we do, is for moments, moments like that. And but really proud of the guys and the way they fought and the way they hung in there. And I know probably a bunch of people have written them off at some point during that game, but not this crew.
Well, the Colts come back to Indianapolis next Sunday. They will take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are also 1-2 for the season. You can watch the game right here on CBS4. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock. Well, we'll learn more about the Colts win with Indy Sports Central's Mike Berman in just about 20 minutes.
It was a great win. They're going to build on it. Okay, but first, an amazing announcement. Coming up next, hear from a NASA scientist about what they found on Mars, a Purdue scientist about why it's so important.
Crumbling Indiana roads at an alarming rate. I'm Matt Smith. Coming up, INDOT is demanding a contractor pay millions of dollars or tear it up and start over. And this could just be the beginning.
I'm doing great. Yeah. Great, and loving life.
Tomorrow on CBS4 This Morning, Nicole Pence sits down with former Columbus North basketball star Josh Spidell. Shows us how a new team is keeping him Josh strong. That's tomorrow on CBS4 This Morning with Marianne, Tim, Nicole, and Lindsay, starting at 5 a.m.